What's up, YouTube? This is a week in wrestling for last week, 9/3 to 9/8/2012. And after this one, I'll be caught up until next week. So hopefully I don't fall behind again. But that was mostly caused because of the hurricane. So now that everything's back in order, it shouldn't happen again. Okay, first up we have Raw. The show started off where they did a promo backstage where Punk was attacking Lawler, yada yada, and just after Punk had beat Lawler last week, I guess they're just kind of continuing with it. So yeah, Lawler was out for the rest of the show, and then Sheamus was trying to cut a promo. Punk came out and interrupted him, said, you're in my hometown, trying to talk to my people. They don't care what they're saying, blah, blah, blah. And then AJ comes out and says, oh, we're going to have Punk versus Sheamus tonight. So yeah. And then Ziggler had another match against Orton, and he actually beat him this time with a roll-up. So this leading up to their match for Night of Champions. Miz came out and did commentary for the entire night. He did an excellent job, a lot better than Lawler, and Cole actually. So it was good to see him on commentary. He did a really good job. Something for him to do later on when he doesn't feel like wrestling anymore. Then they had Kane and Daniel Bryan anger management classes part 2. Again, just as funny. They're like, make your anger collages. And Bryan's was just filled with yeses and nos. And Kane had a blank piece of paper. He rolled up there and trash came. Flames came out. He's like, that's my anger collage. So, yeah, it was pretty funny. This was the last of the anger management classes. I enjoyed them. They were good little promos. The tag team of Rey and Sin Cara beat Rhodes and Tensai. Tensai, this is the first time I've seen him in like a month, I think. And Rhodes, I hope this is leading somewhere because it's getting aggravating that he's losing, which sucks because he's really good. But yeah, apparently there's big plans in store for Rey and Sin Cara because as long as they don't get suspended or injured, they're supposed to have a match at WrestleMania against each other, and they're going to give people like free masks and stuff. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. So yeah, Punk came out. No, Punk didn't come out for his match against Sheamus. He was backstage, and he's like, I'm taking a personal day. Screw you, AJ. I'm leaving. Bye. And AJ was like, you can't do that. And he's like, check my contract. And he got in the car with a mysterious driver and drove off. Next up, Sheamus came out and beat Swagger. Sad, because it was a good match. I just hate that Swagger's getting buried down. But hopefully he will get his rise back to the top soon. It was a good match, though. Enjoyable. Eve beat Caitlyn. This match had no relevancy. I don't know why Caitlyn lost a match when she's supposed to be looking good going into Night of Champions. But from what I understand, Caitlyn wasn't even supposed to win the Battle Royal. That was a botch on their part. That was a terrible Battle Royal, by the way. So, yeah. Swagger backstage was like, I'm taking a break. And AJ was like, no. And he's like, I'm better than this. So, hopefully Swagger is going to, go get himself, come back maybe like refurbished. I guess that's probably not the right word, but hopefully he comes back and he's going to be getting a push and can be a world champion again. That'd be nice to see. Otunga cut a promo backstage where he's Del Rio's new attorney and all because what's his name got kicked. Ricardo got kicked in the neck or whatever, and by Sheamus, and she's like, my client's not talking at this time, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Ryback beat Mahal for the second time, or the third time, who cares anymore, because this could have been a good feud, but WWE was like, hey, let's screw that. We're just going to make it where Ryback wins and move on to the next thing, because we have no idea what we're doing. By the way, WWE Creative, y'all are idiots. Y'all just don't know what you're doing half the time. This was hysterical. You had the option to do hashtag WB hug, hashtag WB as like match or tag where they would compete in a tag team or compete against each other, or they would hug it out. Of course, everybody picked hug it out. It was just hysterical. I love this so much. It was just so funny watching Kane and Bryan have to hug each other. It was funny because they were like, oh, we made up, and then it was like slap, and Bryan was like slap, and it just went back and forth to where they were just like, it ended with like Kane choke slamming Bryan and Bryan hitting Kane with a chair. Yeah, so I don't understand why they did Santino's U.S. Championship rematch on Raw, because I thought they were saving this for Night of Champions. But I guess maybe they have a better opponent for Cesaro that they're going to build 1 week when they had a match already that they could have been building on. Don't know why, but yeah, Cesaro retained. Blah, blah, blah. Ryder beat Slater in the match. From what I understand, both of these characters are very popular. Well, Ryder clearly is, but Slater's been getting a lot more popular. A lot of people backstage really like him. He is a funny heel. I do enjoy seeing him coming out and do his whole one-man band gimmick. It's funny. So he'll always be like a good little mid-card heel to mess around with. I don't ever see him going anywhere main event. Ryder, from what I hear, is supposed to be getting like a little mini push. We're gonna see where it goes. Hopefully, he can win a mid-card belt again. We'll see how that goes. Vicky slapped AJ and just like, you can't do nothing to me. It's just like the board of directors doesn't like you anymore. They're my friends. And AJ just had a mental breakdown in the middle of the ring, like throwing chairs and crying and screaming. And it was just like, oh my God, what's happening? So anyway, last match of the night was Del Rio. He beat Cena in a Falls Count Anywhere match when Punk came back to the system. And we see Punk get into a car with Paul Heyman and drive off. So yeah, it's pretty cool because there were rumors going around that Punk was going to be working with Heyman, and turns out they actually are. Next up, moving on to Superstars. Cesaro beat Gabriel in the match. This was a good match. Two excellent performers. They both did a great job. And Cesaro won. Layla beat Natalya. Divas are irrelevant. Sandow beat Riley. This was disappointing because the crowd was like ecstatic for Riley, and they were behind Riley during the entire match, and it's like, oh, Sandow wins. How gay. Yeah, so blah. Kofi and Truth beat Primo and Epico in a match. It was a good match. So, tag teams coming together. Next up, TNA. Go home show for Bound for Glory. No Surrender, sorry. Jeff beat Joe with a submission hold that he's never done before, but it's pretty cool because now he's in the finals for the BFG series. Plus, he needed extra points to get ahead of everybody, so he could qualify. Magnus attacked Joe again. Wait, did he attack Joe? He attacked Joe, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, Tara beat Gail and is the new #1 contender. Announced by Brooke Hogan for the Knockouts belt at No Surrender. And then Al Snow came out and offered Joey Ryan a chance at a contract. He said, if you can, he's like, I'll give you one more match. If you win it, you have a contract. He's like, you just have to beat me. And he slapped